from the beautiful Pacific Northwest and the mighty West Coast, we greet you all. Good morning, good evening, whenever your timeline may fall. Time-appropriate greetings indeed to one and all. This is The Launch, and my name is Chris.
And I'm Angela.
Hello, Angers.
Hello.
A few things we should let everybody know about before we get going. You can always call us. We love that. Give us a call. You never call your launch. 774-462-5667. Call your buddies at The Launch and leave us a voicemail. 774-462-5667. Show's also live on a Tuesday. It's always a lot of fun at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. UTC at jblive.tv or in your podcasting 2.0 app of choice. And then we come out on a Wednesday morning, and we'd love it if you join us over at weeklylaunch.rocks. That's where you'll find our links, the past episodes. You're also going to find out about our Mumble Room over there, which is always going with us as we do a live show. And, of course, we have the phone number. If you forget, we list it in our show notes for you as well to make it nice and easy. Well, Andrews, sounds like you've got photo management on the mind this week.
I do. I do. I have this stupid situation, and I can't remember if we've covered this before.
I mean, it's like a perpetual problem.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So, I take pictures on my phone.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
right?
you do.
And I keep them on my phone. And right now, like, I need to transfer them to my desktop. That's where I am at in technology
we've
right
talked
now.
about that part, yeah.
Yeah, and with a cable, not over the Wi-Fi,
right.
Not through cloud or whatever. But the problem is, once it's on my desktop, then it's a pain to, like, post them to social media.
Yeah.
I have to then, like, text it to myself.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like months behind on posting anything to social media. Like, I have gone dark. Nobody has said anything.
It's a workflow problem, people.
Well, it's not. No, it's a quality life problem.
Yeah.
But now it's a workflow problem because I have too many pictures on my phone because I've still been taking pictures. I just haven't been sharing them. And I am, I don't know. I wrote down 3 questions for everyone to consider. Do you keep all pictures or just the good ones?
Oh.
Right? I tend to go through and harvest like just the best ones because I don't need a bunch of extra, right? And photos, while they can apply or be nice for other people, it's really for you, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So then 2, do you keep all the photos on your phone, desktop, or in the cloud, or hybrid, or whatever? Or do you have a solution for this particular problem? Like, the solution is cloud, probably, right? But
if you want to post from the phone.
Can the cloud handle 150,000 plus pictures? I don't know. And so then the third question is, what do you take pictures of the most? Used to be my kids. Now it might be karaoke.
I was going to say cats.
Or cats. Yeah, it's a tie.
For me, it's chickens
cats and
right
karaoke.
now.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of chickens. I mean, you got to, these are good questions.
Do you keep all the pictures or just the good ones?
So I do have a bit of a hybrid strategy myself. I'd be curious to know what the listeners do. So do call in or boost. But I kind of use iCloud storage on my iPhone for the catch-all of everything. And then what I do is, I guess you can consider that a backup too. I don't know. But the photos that I favorite get backed up to a separate service, to my image system, which is my own personal cloud. It's not a cloud. It's a self-hosted image backup.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And then so the ones I'm spending backup storage on are just my favorites.
Because you're right. So I do mark things as favorites. It does not transfer that information to my photo library.
Right.
So
the image app supports like only backing up the favorites.
Yeah.
Like whatever it would be. I guess it'd be like a photo album or a whatever. Yeah. So that's one way. And my thinking there is like if somehow something happened and I lost all my photos, the ones I really cared about, I'd have restoration of.
Right.
The one thing that's crossed my mind now in the age of AI, is I do wonder if more data is good. And so if you have more photos of a thing, you may be able to, at some point in the future, have more data to reconstruct a scene or something. Like, there's that element where...
No. And technology has improved. So I would always go to look for something and I would never be able to find it, right? I scroll for days. It was my kids that figured out that when you're in... Hold on. Or our kids. That when you tap the top of the screen, it goes all the way to the top.
It took me a minute, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was like, how did you do that? And they're like, all you do is this. Like, okay.
I know. They're touch interface native.
But even with that, even with being able to go to the beginning of, 10 years ago that I had pictures, I still couldn't find things. But it reads text now.
Yes. Isn't that, you can highlight text in the photos?
No, not just that. Not just copy paste from photos, but I can literally search like for my game. I can search for a certain hero,
like in the
and
screenshot?
it'll show me all of them or recipes. That's a big one.
Yes.
I lose recipes.
Yeah.
Where is the recipe that had Oreos in it? Type Oreo. Here's all 5 of them that are on my phone and have been for 10 years.
That is very useful.
It is. So yes, you're right. There are going to be some advancements that will make it.
It sounds like too
even
Apple.
better.
I don't have a specific story linked, but I saw Apple is planning to add more photo editing features to the phone version of the Photos app.
Oh, interesting.
So there may be more workflow on the phone.
Yeah.
Something like a long-term goal might be, your own self-hosted server at your house that has photo backup and maybe not like cloud music, but it's your version of cloud music for your devices. There's something that's yours and personal and offline.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's probably something there for you.
And I'm only on Facebook and Instagram now. It used to be Twitter too. It would post all 3 of those. So I could try posting from my computer if I, if
you log into
if
the
I
web
do get all the photos off my phone, because it is burdensome to have to scroll for days. But then I don't think I can post at the same time to Instagram. And it is so nice
it'd be
just
one by
to
one.
do one. Yeah.
And I think, I haven't used it in ages, but the Instagram web interface has always been total crap.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
it's a
it
total
has.
downgrade.
It has.
All right. So what were those questions?
Okay. So the first one was, do you keep all the pics or just the good ones? Do you keep all photos on your phone, desktop, in the cloud, or some hybrid? And third was, what do you take pictures of the most?
Yeah. I wonder if other people have interesting setups like mine. And what do you take photos of the most?
Right? Where are the bird watchers?
Yeah, some people are going to be like food. They take pictures of their food.
This is not the lunch.
Well, it could be for one day.
It is during lunch. It's 12:20.
That is true. That is
local
true.
time.
I like it. All right, boost in or give us a call and let us know. Now, let's get to some news. Some big news in the world of big tech. Well, in a massive reversal of stance by the Trump administration, Google, Microsoft, xAI, and others will now allow the U.S. government to review their new models before they go public. The Center for AI Standards and Innovation will evaluate new models before they are released publicly. This is, I'll have to note, a pretty substantial shift in the Trump administration's view on vetting AI. They were all go, go, go for a long time, but it seems perhaps maybe Mythos has changed their mind.
I told you earlier that the U.S. government is now considering reviewing AI technology before it's released publicly. Now the Financial Times is reporting that Google, Microsoft, and xAI have agreed to U.S. national security reviews of new AI models. The report says the Center for AI Standards and Innovation, which sits under the Commerce Department, said it signed a deal with the tech groups to conduct pre-development evaluations and targeted research. Our next guest, I imagine, has some views on this and so much more. 8VC founding.
I'll tell you my views really quick. This is going to very easily turn into some kind of regulation by moat, but instead of by regulation, we need a new term. This is regulation, this is moat by executive order, and I don't like that at all. And I think there's a lot of potential for loose definitions of safety and other things to evaluate these by. And at the same time, it's going to be totally not applied to any of the Chinese open source models that are continuing to kick ass at an unbelievable clip that aren't going to have to follow this process at all. And so it'll have no impact on them at all. And it's only going to be a fraction of the market because eventually open source models are going to be everywhere. So that's my initial take. I'm still, open to collecting more data.
Partner Joe Lonsdale is also Palantir's co-founder. It's always great to see you. We're all trying to figure out what this could look like. Is there ultimately going to be an FDA for AI models? And as is that a good thing or a bad thing for somebody who's thinking the way you do?
Listen, the FDA has killed millions of people. Let's be totally clear, right? So it's.
I'll also note that Dario, whatever is the CEO of Anthropic, he was chatting with Jamie Dimon at a banking event and was asked about an FDA for AI. And Dario himself said that wouldn't be the model he would prefer. He's a fan of regulation. He said that, but Dario would not like the FDA model, mostly I think because of delays and other controversies.
There's
killed.
It has literally led to the deaths.
All right, go ahead. Jump ahead.
10 or 100 times more to do drugs than it should.
All right, okay, jump ahead.
Thing, and you probably don't want that new technology going to the bad guys right away. So there has to be some sort of trade-off, some sort of framework. We have to be really careful not to make the mistakes the FDA has made.
So what would you do? What do you think that should look like?
There probably should be some national agreement on regulation on new powerful models, it should be as small and as narrow as possible. You should not have the same bureaucracy. You should make sure the government from the start has metrics on a speed at which it has to go and the transparency, because you're going to have cronyism. You're going to have the big guys capture it. You're going to slow it down.
Yeah.
Pharma loves the FDA against biotech. It makes it too expensive for us to build our own.
The point he's trying to make that I do agree with is inevitably these tend to get influenced by the very companies they're supposed to be managing. And I do think a very transparent process and something that has clear goals, any sort of preemptive pre-release vetting of AI models by the White House could essentially be tantamount to a de facto licensing regime for AI models, only done via executive order. And when they first came into office, the Trump administration was very, very noisy about eliminating a massive Biden admin AI executive order that was overreaching in a lot of ways for AI development. And they made a lot of noise about rolling that back. And now here we are. They're implementing their own version of it. So the question is do you trust the people in office to do a better version than the last people that are in office? It really seems like this should be the job for Congress from where I'm sitting at. This should probably be a national policy framework that still makes it possible for these companies to innovate and compete. And I don't know if this is it. We don't know yet. It's still pretty new information. But this is, I think, interesting backdrop. Plus you have Anthropic and OpenAI that are both trying to get to an IPO as fast as humanly possible. At the same time, all of the drama around the Musk versus Altman trial that is going on right now. And we've gotten a lot more details.
Discovery is open. Big tech is sweating. Roll it.
I always love the juicy details that come out during Discovery. Today and yesterday, the court is in session. Greg Brockman, who runs OpenAI next to Sam Altman, took the stand. And Musk's lawyers went straight at the money motive. And a new court filing revealed that Musk was trying to talk settlement just days before the trial. And we got real numbers. It seems that Brockman put $0 of investment in and it now has $30 billion worth of equity, something that Elon's lawyers have major issue with.
Week 2 of the Musk versus Altman trial is underway, and the focus shifted off Musk and onto co-defendant and OpenAI president Greg Brockman.
Yeah, his personal journal entries are now front and center, with Musk claiming they show a betrayal of OpenAI's original nonprofit mission.
ABC 7 Eyewitness News reporter Francis Wang is back in Oakland with what happened in court.
So Wang has been on location. So I've been following ABC 7 from San Francisco area because they are, I think that's where they're at. I don't know. They are on this case like a local.
Without Elon Musk in court, the scene here in Oakland was noticeably calmer, fewer protesters and smaller crowds. Inside federal court today, Musk's attorneys tried to portray Greg Brockman as driven by money, even eager for Musk's clout in OpenAI's early days. At one point asking, "You were honored to work alongside him, weren't you?"
Today was a strong day in court.
This is what Elon Musk's team has been waiting for. Greg Brockman's own journal entries, which they say prove he and co-defendant Sam Altman misled Musk about sticking to OpenAI's nonprofit mission.
In particular, Mr. Brockman's testimony and his journal in his own unfiltered words reinforces our confidence in our claims, and we look forward to continue to build this progress as the case proceeds.
In a 2017 journal entry, Brockman wondered, financially, what will take me to $1 billion? On the stand, Brockman said his stake in OpenAI is now closer to $30 billion. When asked what motivates him, Musk's attorney pushed, saying it takes $30 billion to get you out of bed in the morning. But
So I'll clarify this point because while Brent and I have spent all day working on a car, we played the courtroom audio. They've been live streaming just the audio.
Interesting.
I've also been listening to it all morning. It is extremely interesting. And I can't believe there's only like 1,000 people in the world listening to this audio stream. It's remarkable because it's so juicy. And so this line of questioning in particular was interesting, is because it was Brockman basically saying, well, we have two routes we can take. We can stick to the nonprofit path, or we can go with the public company path, and that'll probably make me richer by $1 billion. And so out of context, that looks kind of scheming. Like, I'm going to get richer if we do this route. Brockman says, well, I was really just looking at it from a lot of angles. And in that particular slice of a conversation thread, I was thinking, what would motivate me personally? Like, if they wanted to retain me as talent, what would incentivize me to stay with the company? and making a lot more money would be one of the things that might incentivize me to stay, because the AI field is extremely, extremely competitive for hiring. And so it would have to be startup-like compensation to stay. And that was the context of the conversation. But what Musk's lawyer kind of locked in on is that he said, well, I'd get a lot richer if I went this route. And not only did he get $1 billion, but now he's got $30 billion. So that was a moment where the Musk lawyer was really kind of sinking his teeth in, and you could hear Brockman really trying his best to try to make something out of it.
Musk's attorney pushed, saying it takes $30 billion to get you out of bed in the morning, but $1 billion isn't enough.
Theatrical grandstanding questions completely irrelevant to the lawsuit.
He's speaking as the director and officer of a nonprofit, a publicly subsidized nonprofit, and he's writing secretly, how do I get to $1 billion?
Jurors also heard UC Berkeley professor Stuart Russell as an expert witness about AI risks, although the judge banned discussions surrounding existential threats. A new filing shows Musk and Brockman texted 2 days before the trial.
Now, this is the new juice. I don't know why Elon does stuff like this. It's like he self-sabotages. 2 days before the trial starts, he sends a text message trying to, come to essentially a dismissal. And it seems that Brockman didn't take him up on the offer. And then Elon, like a petulant child, just sets him up for more difficulty later in court, because then Elon responds with, well, now you two men are going to be the hatest men in America after this trial, which the lawyers for OpenAI can take and spin as Elon trying to put pressure on a competitor. Because they're not looking at it as Elon versus Sam the man. They're trying to frame it as Elon versus, a competitor. And so Elon just totally gave fire to that argument with this secret text exchange that he did.
A new filing shows Musk and Brockman texted 2 days before the trial, discussing a possible settlement. When they failed to reach a deal, Musk wrote, quote, by the end of this week, you and Sam will be the most hated men in America. If you insist, so it will be. Those texts are not admissible in court. Meanwhile, Brockman's testimony is just beginning.
Misleading questions, and he handled them just right. And now he has the opportunity to tell his story, which he's going to do tomorrow.
At one point, Brockman defended his journal, calling it an expression of frustration and not a plan. Musk's attorney firing back, how many times did you rehearse that line before coming to court? Brockman is back on the stand tomorrow.
Which is today. I don't know. They might be live right now as we're doing the show, because it goes for hours and hours and hours. Right now, 988 people watching the stream.
There are no emails or texts with you, Sam Altman, or Ilya Sutskever about removing Elon Musk from the board.
And this is what it's like all day long. And then a lot of little court procedural things and the way questions need to be stated or answered. But Musk's side's basically asking one question. If this really started as a public benefit mission, then how did it end up with OpenAI insiders getting all this money?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it is interesting to see the trial kind of taking shape. It's less about hurt feelings this week and more about the real question underneath all of it. Was OpenAI's evolution a legitimate response to the cost of building AI, which is what they're positioning? Or was it a bait and switch to get Elon's money and his clout and then move on without him? And that matters, because if Elon Musk wins even part of this, it could create real problems for OpenAI's structure and future plans. And the Verge reporter a reporter from The Verge, I should say, has been doing a really good job of getting some of the extra nitty-gritty discovery details. She'll touch on a couple of things we've mentioned, but then gets into some of the good stuff.
Okay, so it's been nearly a week of the Musk v. Altman trial. This is such a buzzy trial. It's one of a handful of legal actions by Musk against Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, over the years. He has a laundry list of charges against Sam Altman, against company president Greg Brockman, against Microsoft. But what it all boils down to is, did OpenAI stray from its corporate mission of delivering AI that's going to benefit all of humanity? So that's really at the core of this trial. But what's crazy is so many exhibits have come out, not only in discovery before the trial started, but since the trial started. Every day I've been downloading pieces of evidence that have been made public as part of this trial. Now, one of the craziest pieces of evidence that has come out so far is just the back and forth between Elon Musk and Sam Altman, Greg Brockman, and the chief scientist, Ilya Sutskever. They're arguing, they're negotiating, they're talking about equity, who should get what, the titles, all these different types of things. And Elon Musk sends an email in September 2017, and he says, Guys, I've had enough. This is the final straw. Either go do something on your own or continue with OpenAI as a nonprofit. I will no longer fund OpenAI until you have made a firm commitment to stay, or I'm just being a fool who is essentially providing free funding for you to create a startup. Discussions are over. But something that the judge and the lawyers are highlighting a lot is Musk's potential hypocrisy. They asked this week in court, if you felt that OpenAI was no longer a nonprofit and it was so important for you to have a nonprofit, why not create one in the years since? You have the money. And he said, well, I already have one. And they said, well, it's not a nonprofit anymore. And he created xAI, his own competitor, as a for-profit company. Another interesting exhibit to come out of this was in December 2016, Musk was talking to his team at Neuralink, and he brought up his concerns about beating Google DeepMind, which was one of his biggest concerns at this time. And he said, DeepMind is moving very fast. I am concerned that OpenAI is not on a path to catch up. Setting it up as a nonprofit might, in hindsight, have been the wrong move. Sense of urgency is not as high. So this is creating a lot of questions in the courtroom. You know, did you want a nonprofit or did you regret creating a nonprofit? That's the question that we're going to be exploring in the next however many days of this trial.
One of the other things that just becomes so clear watching all of this is the machinations and things that were getting in place years ago before we as a public ever saw ChatGPT as a thing. Like all this work. And some of this breakup between Elon and OpenAI was before ChatGPT was even a product. They had source code, they had some early models, but they didn't have ChatGPT as a product. Some of my favorite reporter lines covering this was, quote, today, the trial moved out of founder grievance and in territory and into money, motive, and control. Another great one was, Musk wants this to look like a stolen mission. OpenAI wants it to look like a sore loser lawsuit. And then one was, once the jury hears the number like $30 billion, Musk theory becomes a whole lot easier to explain. We'll see about that. It is maybe the case of the year so far, and it really details all this interesting kind of back and forth. And then you also get the motivations of some of the tech companies. Microsoft is involved here, and Microsoft had a lawyer in court yesterday. And the lawyers questioning for Microsoft for Brockman was all like, so like Microsoft didn't have anything to do with this, right? Like Microsoft wasn't involved with some of these decisions, right? Like Microsoft didn't screw Elon, right? Microsoft's good here, right? That was all the lawyers' questions. It was all like, Microsoft's fine. Yeah, we didn't do anything, right? Very interesting. And I'd probably be listening to it right now if we weren't doing the show. So it's been fascinating. I'll keep an ear out and see if anything interesting develops. This might be the last episode we do on it for a while unless something significant happens. But speaking of significant, you know what time it is.
Now's the time. It's the song of the week. Remember, you can boost the track. They sure like that.
All right, Andrews, here's what we got. This is Temptation by the Paisley Days.
Okay.
If you boost during the track, 95% of the sats go to the artist.
Temptation, clouds what once was clear. You missed her by only mere miles. Now you won't see her smile, but realization rushes through your mind. You don't have the time to love her. She cries to her mother. She deserves another. And you overstay. You're welcome. It's who I try to keep myself from. And I'm so amazed I seldom think of you these past days, 'cause I'm over you and your ways of temptation lying to my heart. You knew right from the start your laughter was the
I'm just going to make a quick call to my launch. I haven't checked in since yesterday. 774-462-5667. That's it. All right. 774-462-5667. Call now.
Call your launch. How come you never call your launch? All right, we do have a few voicemails. Thankfully, if we hadn't held voicemails over,
right? Well, it's oh, I see why. Never mind. Yeah.
So, but we do have a couple. We have a couple fresh voicemails, thanks to Mr. Mayhem, and a couple of voicemails that we didn't get to last week, which is where we're going to start with Pacific Penguin.
What's up there, launch crew, Chris and Angela, Pacific Penguin again. I'm just listening to the new episode from the 21st, and the question of flowers, yay or nay. Personally, not a huge fan of giving flowers, mainly because of Chris's logic. They're going to die. So it seems kind of counterintuitive to spend hundreds of dollars on things that will die in like 4 days. But my current fiance, as opposed to my previous one, yeah, she's a very much a flower person. In the sense of like, not like every day or every week, but, in the case of, celebrations or Valentine's Day or whatever. But this question reminded me of a story where for Valentine's Day, because we're somewhat non-traditional in a lot of ways, I never really liked Valentine's Day anyway, because I always felt that if you're choosing one single day to show someone how much you love them, then you're kind of doing it wrong. Feels like you should be doing that all of the time. So she agrees with me. So, we just kind of do what we want.
So flowers all the time.
One year for Valentine's Day, she sends me flowers to my work, which has like a sympathy vase, I guess, vase. And the card says, "Sorry for the VD," with the double meaning of Valentine's Day and venereal disease. So,
nice.
Mind you, neither of us have those.
Oh, sure.
But, just, I guess my fiance is just, so she's a great woman. I love her a lot. And I would probably pick I would pick no one else. Because she just has a great sense of humor. Anyway, fun story. Have fun.
That is a good story.
But,
and thank you for telling us about your venereal disease. I like that. But I believe Pacific called right back.
What's up there, JT Launch Crew?
Hey there.
So listening to the poetry since...
Is this a dupe?
Unplugged.
Did dupe us?
One,
no.
I think you guys should get a phone call.
Yeah.
Oh, I try to say this is actually see if you can get. Not that I get. I'll maybe tell you at the end. Anyway, I'm watching or listening to the most recent episode of Linux Unplugged. Chris, you kind of got me a little bit on the side, filling my field, talking about the individual who recently passed away from cancer.
Bear.
Yeah.
It reminded me of a quote from a user named Technoblade. I don't know if you've heard of him or not. I didn't really follow him much when he was alive, and I've only heard kind of bits and pieces, but apparently someone in the Technoblade community, he was a Twitch streamer, said, what are you going to lose your battle with cancer? And Technoblade says when you die, it's not a loss with cancer, it's a draw. The cancer dies too.
That's right.
Take cancer with it.
It's a draw.
So cancer never wins.
Yes.
So, I don't know, maybe a little bit of a pick me up. At least it makes me feel better. Hopefully it makes you feel better. And hopefully it makes anyone dealing with it feel better. Because my mom had for cancer. Thankfully, she was able to get through it because they caught it early. But
good.
I think this is a very appropriate thing. I don't think that you should probably go ahead and, bleep this because, each of your 13. But fuck cancer. Because fuck it. Stupid piece of shit. Fucking ruining all the cool things and shit. Fuck you, cancer.
Wow.
Asshole.
Yeah.
Thanks for the disclaimer.
Anyway. Wow. You bitch. Anyway. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We need to clip that. That's
good.
so funny.
That's good. Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
Good luck censoring that, Drew.
Thank you, Pacific Penguin. It was good to hear from you. Call back. We got a call now from Magnolia Mayhem.
Hey, Magnolia here. So places that I've gotten to be inside of have to be kind of specific.
To be clear, I asked on Love during the bootleg, what's like a place you've been to that maybe the public doesn't have access? Because we got a tour. We told the story on the bootleg of going to Valve.
I've been in a dam inside, like the lower chambers and where the pressure is really,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that kind of thing. So I think that's what Mayhem's called.
I have to be careful when I say this, but back when I was in the military, I was in engineering, and there were people who needed some stuff built for them, and so my squadron got the job. And so there are places that you would expect to be very exciting until you get there, and they turn out to be extremely boring. it was kind of cool. They've built certain places with the military around like old historical sites. So like there was a mountain and there was an old silver mine. Like this old prospector had his own little mine set up, and they like ran him off the land and built this place. And so it's technically like a historical place, but no one's allowed there. So there's just this old like 100-year-old shack just sitting out in the desert.
Wild.
No clue if there's still silver there. I kept wanting to go out there, and I never got permission. But certain places you would think they would be exciting until you get there, and they turn out to be really boring. Not good for your health, especially considering they have $1 Bud Light Platinums there with no limit.
Oh.
But how do I put this? There are places that you would think would be exciting until you get there, and it turns out they're not that exciting. What am I trying to say? Anyway, yeah. If I disappear, I am in good health, and I know how to swim.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I love the next call, so Magnolia finishes up, but our producer, Majel Barrett, says, Magnolia describes coming across a large, ominous hole in the ground. That's the description of the voicemail. So here we go.
But yeah, it's pretty scary when you're like, oh, what's that big hole in the ground over there? And they're like, well, don't go out there. There's a lot of plutonium in it, and you will die.
Oh.
So kind of scary, kind of cool, I guess.
Oh.
But yeah, there are some pretty cool places out there. I mean, I would like going there for an academic. Just to like be like, oh, that's what's there. Not really a great place to like
hang out.
Go hang out.
Yeah.
I'm realizing how worthless this call is because I haven't actually said anything that's useful.
Well, we know it's a hole in the ground.
Oh, that's way better.
I've been places before.
Yeah.
Pretty cool places,
Okay.
They're great. They're great.
That's
really, really fun. Anyway.
Well, I appreciate the descriptive nature of those places,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Mayhem. Thank you very much. And if you'd like to tell us about a place that you've been that the general public doesn't have access to, maybe you got a tour of something, whatever it is, call in and describe it for us. I find that to be fascinating. And I learned, I won't say much, because I realize now how much Valve really, 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 really appreciates their privacy. But I learned, and I suppose maybe I kind of knew this but didn't know it, and it won't surprise you when I say it, that there are a lot of tech companies in our area that are in totally unmarked public buildings inside large malls and other buildings that you enter in, and you're not entering into an office building. You're entering into a mall with a food court.
Yeah,
and
sounds like a Stranger Things.
And then you go down a hallway,
Mm-hmm.
and there's an elevator, and you get in the elevator, and you go to the corporate levels.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And then there are some of the biggest companies you've ever heard of in the world that just don't have any branding, not a single sign. They're not on any directory listing.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I want to go.
And there are companies you've all heard of. It's in Valve being one of them and others.
Yep.
It was quite the experience. Just a couple other public companies are in the same building, totally disclosed that I just saw anecdotally was Tesla's also in there. They have Tesla has an office in there. Microsoft has an office in there. None of them are labeled. None of them are. You just think you're at a public mall.
Huh.
It's the craziest thing.
And now it is time for Le Boost.
You know, Andrews, it's not too often we get a baller boost here in the old launch, but this week our podcast turned that around. Are you ready for this one?
Not our podcast, but the person.
Our podcast.
Podcast.
Okay,
like
Eric.
just the letter R.
Yep, for
podcast.
the programming language. And this has got to be one of our best boosts in a long time. Our podcast comes in with our baller boost at 400,000 sats.
Hey, Rich you're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down. You're the best around.
Fun will now commence.
Greetings, launch crew. Sending some value your way to say how much my son and I enjoy your show. Producer Jason and had him giggling in the car. Your continued practical and sensible coverage of AI is the best in the industry. I wish I could say I've had top secret tour, but I've been getting a glimpse of some amazing open source projects as part of my R podcast adventures before they went public. And that feels pretty close. That is cool. You know, you get a little sense of what's coming too.
I hope his son can listen to the swearing that was earlier in the voicemails, but okay.
We do our best.
Yes.
We do our best. Yeah, check out the R podcast where all great podcasts can be found. I am impressed with the run too. Congratulations, Eric. All right, our next boost, and thank you so much for that value, Adversary 17 comes in with 33,422 sats. And Adversaries writes, live boost! Coming in live today. Thank you, Adversaries. Appreciate that very much. Good to hear from you. Little heartbeat from Adversaries.
Yep.
Our next boost comes from Outdoor Geek, and it's over 9,000. It's 10,000 sats.
It's over 9,000!
Now, is that a chicken foot? What is
No.
that? What is that?
I think it's a tulip
Oh, it is totally a tulip.
because I think that
Yeah, that's a bulb.
Yeah, I think in
It's an ASCII
Big
tulip.
Tech Receipts, I talked about the flowers.
Yep,
So
yep, that is totally
yeah,
what it is.
so it's with symbols,
That's adorable.
parentheses, and slash and
It's an
forward
ASCII
slash.
tulip.
Yep.
Well done, Outdoor. Thank you for the boost. Appreciate you. And Mr. Mayhem wraps us up with a row of ducks, 2,222 sats. Why was it so easy the first time? Dragonfly. What the F? I can't even recognize my SATA controller. Oh, I'm glad you're having some problems too. Because my machine that I'm using for the BSD challenge is still not booting BSD. It is my mission after the show to get that thing working, or I've got to pivot to another piece of hardware. The BSD challenge is on for Linux Unplugged because next week's episode, Ange.
I was just going to say, okay, so it is also episode 66 next week
You get it.
for the launch.
Oh,
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
So it's 666 for LUP and it's 66 for launch.
Mhm.
Oh, it feels like we should do something with that.
Right?
So yeah, we're getting into BSD for episode 666. And
Yeah. No, that's so cool.
I think the only shot I have is I don't know if I'm going to beat Wes. I think he just feels locked in, but Brent's traveling.
Mm.
I got a good shot at beating Brent. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming to take Brent out.
You're going to take your win by default?
Well, my win is going to be beating Brent. That's going to be my win. That's what I'm aiming for. All right. Thank you, everybody who boosted the launch. It's really, really nice to have a big episode here, and we really do appreciate it. So thank you also to those of you who stream sats. 6 of you stream sats, and collectively you sent in 13,624 sats just streaming while you listen. When you combine that with our baller boost and all the other boosts we got in, it was a big one. We stacked 445,644 satoshis. Yes. Yes. If you'd like to support the show, Fountain makes it really easy. There's also Albi Hub. Let's see. Magnolia came in from the podcast index, so Magnolia was using Albi Hub this week. Outdoor Geek used, looks like Fountain FM. Adversaries also on Fountain, and our podcast using Albi and the Albi extension on the podcast index. So there you go, a nice collection of different ways to boost in on the open value for value ecosystem. You can get a Podcasting 2.0 app and get all kinds of features like transcripts, chapters, and video versions of this show. Or, you can use a Podcasting 1.0 app, and if you want to boost, you can get Albi extension and go to the podcast index.
Did you know that one of these allows you to dynamically move around the different video shots?
Really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Technology's getting so cool.
Yeah.
That is, why do I even need to switch anymore?
So it can fix the who's looking at who?
Yeah.
Like you could.
That'd be nice.
Right?
Let's get that AI.
As a viewer?
Yeah, let's get that AI. That's the AI I want. All right, so thank you, everybody. And also a big shout out to our Jupiter.party members. The bootleg is a big one for you this week. Hope you enjoy.
Chris found a gem, an easy flip. Let's cash it in. It's barely standing, kinda scary, but potential's extraordinary. Just trust me, it's a winner. Just trust me, it's a winner.
I feel like you're going to be impressed by my picks this week.
Okay. I accidentally scrolled down too far and I saw time to sell the studio.
Yep. I like one of them a lot.
Yeah, let's see.
So I'm always looking for the best bunker out there. This is the
Okay.
first one.
Yeah.
Think of
No,
it.
I know.
Think of it, Ange, as like a starter bunker.
Mhm.
It's $90,000. It's
Super cheap.
Just south of Noxie, Oklahoma. It's got 3.17 acres, and this is the description: survive, thrive, and disappear. This isn't just land. This is a fully dialed-in survival compound with a legit Radius Engineering P6 underground bomb shelter already in place. Whether you're dreaming of off-grid freedom, cutting grocery bills, or planning for a full-blown no neighbors, no nonsense lifestyle, this property is ready. The underground shelter is locked and loaded with everything you need to ride out whatever comes next. Toilet, shower, kitchenette, septic system, and serious storage. Power options, you've got them. Hookups for generator power, an adjacent container, and a power pole on site for those nights when the apocalypse takes rain. Oh, it takes a rain check. Outside infrastructure, good for me. Good, ready for this. Designated RV camper area and temporary living expansion. 15 by 30 fiberglass hut on a slab and fully fenced. Fully fenced. Now, the thing that I think you cannot appreciate from the description, that you have to look at the photos, and we'll have a link in the show notes, is this is a multi-bunker platform. First, you've got the up top level bunker, and then you've got what can only be described as a Lost style hatch in the ground.
Yeah.
From the show Lost.
Yes.
And it opens up, and then there, just like in the movie Lost, is this long tunnel and ladder down into what looks like a bunker from like a sci-fi television show.
From the 80s, abandoned in the 70s or 80s or
and
something.
it's given semi-steampunk to me as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah.
But I just love it's like a giant mushroom capsule lid. And then they've got the fantasy photo down at the very, very bottom here.
Right.
And it shows you what the compound could be as a fully functional off-grid farm where like the underground bunker's located at, the topside bunker, where you might build a house, where you could have some open pastures and some chickens with room to grow, they say.
Yeah.
And that's $90,000. So if you actually did just want a piece of property with a bunker, then it's ready to go. All right, but that's not for us.
No.
We don't want to go to Oklahoma.
Ew.
Right? We're looking for something local.
Okay.
So I say perhaps it's time
Oh, a tiny house.
to sell the studio.
Oh
So
my gosh.
For Washington State, in Gold Bar, $250,000 is basically a free house. Now, it is small, but it is riverfront perfection.
It's not just small.
Yeah. It's tiny.
It's really cute, though.
It's the cutest.
It's literally a shed.
It
It's not even the size of a she shed or whatever.
It looks like a tiny barn.
It
looks like, but the inside.
a barn shed.
The inside is gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, this is what Abby wants.
Is this not gorgeous, though?
Yeah, no, this is exactly. Abby wants a loft area with only enough room for a bit, like a king size bed or a combination of bigger.
But what it's really about is the view. You're
Oh my
on the
gosh.
river with a gorgeous.
Okay, how much is it? Oh, $250,000 in Gold Bar
I know. For Washington State, on the river,
with a deck.
with
On
two
the
decks,
river.
beautiful interior.
Wow.
It's basically a free home by Washington standards on the river. It's crazy. Yeah, it's got a little loft, so it's essentially a tiny barn that they've turned into a very nice inside tiny home. The only big drawback for me is I don't think there's anywhere to park Jupes.
Yeah.
But, we sell Jupes, we sell the studio, and I move into a teeny tiny home that's smaller than my RV. No. It doesn't have a shed, though. I don't have a shed right now. It's just, it's so perfect. It's so adorable. It's got a little cabin perched high above the river, and then a deck that you go out on. And also it has a detached wash house, because I guess it doesn't have a built-in bathroom.
Yeah.
But
I see it.
you put a little hot tub and a barbecue on that deck.
I wonder what the flood zone is like there.
It's up pretty high. They say there's room to build a gazebo and a fire pit.
Oh my gosh.
Is it not?
Look at that daybed too.
If, post kids, something like that, this could be all you'd ever need.
Yeah.
$250,000, 120 square feet. It actually is less square footage in the RV.
I can't believe this studio costs less than that, or didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it did when I bought it back in the day. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that was like 15 years ago.
More than that.
Was it?
Yeah.
I've been wondering.
2004.
Really? It's 2004?
Or 2000. Yeah, I think 2005.
God, that sounds right. And that was I thought that would be one of many homes I would buy back then.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, one of two.
Well, it was, yeah. But I thought that, and then I thought there'd be, I don't know, man. Yeah, pretty crazy. But yeah, it is. Yeah, that does cost. Yeah, it's beautiful little place though. Even if you just want to dream, go
There's
look
an
at the links.
HOA.
Yeah.
How?
Well, that Riverside
Also,
property.
Where's the map? Where's the map of the? I didn't see a map.
Yeah, I should link a map because it is neat to see of where Gold Bar's at and all that.
And the neighbors and such.
And there's going to be a neighbor factor at a place like this.
For sure. That's what I'm...
Yeah. That's the downside to living in these tight little river properties in our area is
Mm.
they get really super hyper managed. Maybe for better, maybe for worse. It kind of depends on your opinion on that. All right. Well, go check it out at weeklylaunch.rocks. You'll find episode 65 over there where you can find a link to those and everything else. And it does make it special if you join us live. There is something special. There's a vibe to the live show. So you can catch us next Tuesday or catch us in your podcast app Wednesday morning. We'd love it if you did that. Of course, there's the chat room and the mumble room. They're always cooking. You can jump in there 24/7, but definitely during the live shows, things just kick up to the next level. And, you get to be in on the making of the thing. Well, that's kind of fun. All right, I got to get out of here. Thank you very much for listening from the beautiful Pacific Northwest and the mighty American West Coast. Thank you for listening, and we will see you right back here next week.
A tasty burger.